This is what I mean. That treble just looks so big when he's got those 2 darts in
Scott,
there.
you
There's
require
not a
160.
lot of equipment, not a lot of material in the way.
That would have been for the biggest finish of the week. Still with Jerry Hendricks at 142.
100.
I think we'll see something
Martin, you
special
require
in the
40.
finishing. But Martin Turner, 13 dart to the boot.
It's an absolute carbon copy.
30.
He can't find the double 5 last in
Scott,
hand.
you require 60.
Scott Winder an opportunity to confirm that break of throw. Put himself halfway to victory.
And there, Matt, it's just a little bit of composure that he wasn't showing this week. He's been here before.
Game shot on the
And
second
there
leg.
again, it's 2-0 to Scott Winder. I always feel you should be aiming for double 1. He's taking his time. He wasn't doing this at the beginning of the week. He's learning on the job. Can he execute this double 2? Yes, he can. That was a wonderful performance from Scott Winder. Maybe, just maybe, his performance of the week. Does he fancy his chances today? Look at the reaction there. And it looks like a shell-shocked Martin Turner. He's got plenty of work to do, but a wonderful, wonderful match from both players. A 2-dart combination for the first holder throw in this game. He's decided on double 10, but only just, Matt.
I don't think he's decided on that, to be honest. He nearly hit the double 19. He stepped back, tried to recompose.
29.
Unable to do so.
Carl, you
There's
require
one thing we
40.
can say about Carl going for that treble 11 on the last shot. He's confident.
Game
And
shot on
a
the third
confident
leg.
dart there to get the break of throw. Again on 13 darts.
You feel this is a must-hit for Grundy. And the first game, Scott Winder did a good job for him, really. The fact that Martin Turner lost that, he's going to get a dart. He's decided to topsy fancies.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Absolute quality from Rob Grundy. Carl Sneed has been superb in this game, averaging over 94 for that 1-1-6 there for Rob Grundy. Grundy is now become a big favourite for this match.
145.
Boring does a came out there. I was thinking hit the big number.
We all wanted to see the big 170, especially for the match. But this could be where Boring does would take the advantage, because he's going to have to burn the dart here.
25.
Yeah, it's been a superb game. Much improved performance from Rob Grundy. He can be better on his doubles.
21. Carl, you require 120.
17 darts at a double, only hit 3, Rob Grundy. And you can see that frustration eking in. He's going to get 3 more.
100.
3 more for the match.
Rob, you require 4.
Just takes his time. Pre-throw preparation. Focus on the double 2. Mission accomplished for Rob Grundy. That was another superb game. Carl Sneed is getting opportunities, but not taking them. But in the end, it was always about the 2 points for Rob Grundy. He moves to 8 points. He joins that gaggle of players now in that position.
So he doesn't want to be a legend, but he certainly says that about his wife. He thinks she's a legend. She'll be watching. And Robert was saying an awful lot of positive things about herself. I'm going to tell her all these things on commentary, and he says, "Don't you dare." So I think that's about as far as I can go with that one.
85.
But tops
Robert, you
for
require
Robert Thornton
40.
when he's on song, he just does not miss.
Game shot on the first leg.
Well, he don't miss with 3 darts anyway. Let's put it that way.
He looked a pretty desperate man on Tuesday. His averages were low 60s at one point.
170.
Fantastic setup there for Robert Thornton. The 170 leaves him tops after 12. And the way he's been hitting that, these might be the last darts that Jerry Hendricks throws
Robert, you
in this
require
match.
40.
To join them players on 8 points.
Shots,
absolutely superb performance there from Robert Thornton. The cream always rises to the top. And a big smile on the face there for the Scotsman. Jerry Hendricks had a tough week. Just working on his game at the moment, but he was just up against an inspired Robert Thornton, 94.70. So good on the outer ring. Robert Thornton is up and running. Carl Sneed hasn't been
68.
getting this little bit of luck that you need sometimes to win a leg of darts. I always feel this is a real 50-50, like what he's doing. He's looking at treble 16 to start. So 52 left is options. That leaves double 18.
Game show on the third lay. Carl Sneed.
Options on 67, starting on the 17s. You know, we went for the 11 bull earlier and hit the 8. Has he learnt his lesson just to hit the big 11? He has. This is for the match. And
Game,
what a performance
shot,
from
and
Carl
the match.
Sneed against the
Carl
shell-shocked
Sneed.
Martin Turner. The man from Oldham wins the War of the Roses match. 4-0, a big whitewash win. Martin Turner needs to stop the slide very, very quickly. Hero confidence in the steering. Double 14.
Game show on the second lay.
After
Scott
13
Winder.
missed start at a double, you get one dart at double 14, you ping it in.
Scott, you require 64.
Nothing Hendricks can do. Scott Winder goes through his process, a little wipe with the hands, very Rob Cross-esque. He's going to get a dart for the match.
Game,
And Scott
shot,
Winder,
and the
after
match.
the disastrous
Scott
first leg,
Winder.
now tops the table and is the first player to go to 10 points against Jerry Hendricks, who I think just wants the day to end right now. This won't. This would be the highest finish of the week.
Game shot on the
Solid
second
as
lay.
a rock. He even
Robert
gives himself a
Thornton.
little round of applause there, and why not, Robert?
One thing we won't expect to see from Robert Thornton is a nervy dart at the double to win a match. He knows how to win.
51.
And I was about to say, and win he does. Once again, Rob Grundy
Robbie
can't
required
believe, 'cause you
10.
don't expect Robert Thornton to miss in under them circumstances. This is still not over. Double 5 is not easy. How aggressive with the first dart. Is that too good? He doesn't need to move. Nodding again from Robert Thornton. And what is he thinking? Robert
Game,
Grundy
shot,
with a
and the
sensational
match.
double
Rob
5 to take
Grundy.
the match. It went the distance. He moves to 10 points. He's progressing very, very nicely in his Group C campaign. That's what it means to him. Good performance there from Robert Thornton, and did have his opportunities in the end. Not an awful lot to separate him on the numbers.
64 points. For the points. For the match.
Game, shot, and the match. Carl Sneed.
And it's Carl Sneed. It was classed as a basement game yesterday, but it's 2 out of 2 for Carl Sneed against Jerry Hendricks. He nearly had a real moment of magic with a 170 finish there, but it wasn't to be. Hopefully he's seeing the positives from the experience, but Carl Sneed is once again demonstrating his real qualities. He'd be chucked to pieces with a win. A couple of wins over there, but real business with the game next. For a famous comeback.
$20.
Chance for Turner. A chance
Martin, you
I feel he
required
thought
40.
was gone because Grundy did not look like missing. Double 10. Not
30.
to be. Rob Grundy just having that little bit of luck today, and that seems to be the
Robbie
difference for
required
him.
20.
Can he be the first player to go on to 12 points? He's geeing himself up. 3 darts. Is he feeling it? Absolutely he is. He takes his time and
Game,
executes
shot,
a double 10
and
for
the
a
match.
great
Rob
victory. A
Grundy.
2-0 down. Martin Turner who's just beginning to show signs of his brilliant best, but Rob Grundy just has that winning mentality, that winning feeling at the moment, and to come back and see himself at the top of the table, the first player to reach 12 points, the Hartlepool man will be feeling really, really good about the situation. Big win there from the Rob Grundy, and next up it's another big game. It's an all-Scottish clash. It's Robert Thornton against Scott Winder.
Game shot on the third lay.
Just like we said
Robert
earlier on in the
Thornton.
day as well, you miss all those doubles, but when it comes to those combination shots, that's when you tend
Full
to
take. It's
find.
Scott to throw first.
You know, doubles haven't been great in this match. Your clutch finish and haven't been your best this week, but this is the moment, young man. 2 darts at tops. You're doing everything right. Can you execute? Yes,
Game shot on
you
the sixth
can.
lay.
Watch that
Scott
back, Scott
Winder.
Winder, because that's how you do a finish under that intense pressure. 155 would be a worldie. What a start. This it would be some conclusion.
Game, shot,
Robert
and the
Thornton
match.
just finds
Robert
his brilliant
Thornton.
best when he needs to, and that is not done by accident. For Scott Winder, the disappointment you can see there, because it was a tale of missed opportunities there. The smile doesn't leave his face, but how does Robert Thornton continue to do that?
Time, despite the fact he hasn't thrown first in this one. Gonna get 4 darts here at the double.
Game
He
shot on the
only
third
needs the
leg.
1.
Jerry Hendricks.
Where has this Jerry Hendricks been, he'll be wondering.
Used to that winning feeling. He's had a couple of missed darts already.
Game, shot,
But Jerry
and the
Hendricks,
match.
that
Jerry
was
Hendricks.
sensational. It's been an incredibly difficult week for you, but that's what you can do. When the belief is there, when you are cool, calm and collected, like his mother said overnight, just enjoy it, Jerry. In the church building, looking for divine intervention
Robbie required
behind.
120.
Well, he's got the chance, and it's Shanghai. Going to get a dart at tops. How many times have we said that in our darting life? Thornton for tops.
Game
How
shot
does
on
he
the
do it,
second
Matt?
leg. Robert Thornton.
How does he do it? Where does he find? He was never in that leg of darts.
He required
I
140.
suppose in your exhibitions, you're only used to about a dozen people. Well, Sneed is normally used to hitting big finishes like this.
Game
Where
shot on the
has
third
that come
leg.
from, Carl
Carl
Sneed?
Sneed.
All of a sudden,
Jose actually went and did it. Thornton will give you the more conventional route. Can he do it for a second time in
Game
this
shot on
game?
the
Of
fourth
course he
leg.
can.
Robert Thornton.
This is a game full of big finishing. And anytime Robert Thornton's got a dart at tops, you've got to
Fifth leg.
fancy
It's
him
Carl
to take
throw
it out.
first. Game,
Thornton
shots,
goes
and the
top.
match. Robert Thornton.
once again, the timing for Robert Thornton was absolutely perfect. It was comfortable in the end for Carl Sneed. He's putting himself in good position, just can't see out games right now. But Robert Thornton, he's just put the afterburners on just at the right time.
Certainly doing well to carve out his chances. But that's the difference between the levels.
Yeah, but this is not easy.
Game
He
shot on the
made it look
second
easy.
leg.
2-0 to
Rob
Grundy.
Grundy.
Exactly what the doctor ordered for Scott Winder. Once again, the opportunities are presenting them.
Third leg. It's Rob to throw
Just not
first.
grabbing them, is he?
Game
That's,
on.
for me, the conclusion of his week. I think he can barely. I'm just assuming that ball is going to be so blurry. But it's looking good for me, you're up. Not to be. 84.79 left. We really could. I don't think it's the time for treble 13. So 19, even the single would leave a 2-darter.
84.
90. It's
Scott,
never
you
the
require
easiest. You're thinking
90.
of the bullseye finish here.
$70. Robbie requires
Are we
60.
seeing the beginning of the end? Two data tops. And we will
Game,
see
shot,
Rob Grundy
and the match.
and Robert Thornton
Rob
on
Grundy.
Saturday night on what's been an exciting Group C campaign. And Rob Grundy had his own problems there, seeing out with that eye, but for Scott Winder, just right at the end, he just couldn't succeed.
Martin, you
Lost
require
4 out of
40.
4 so far today.
Bends the wire.
Game, shot,
But in the
and
end, he
the
gets a
match.
win. It's all
Martin
academic for Martin
Turner.
Turner. He won't take an awful lot of satisfaction out of that victory. You can see by his demeanour there, the frustration. He had this group in the palm of his hands. It just didn't happen today. Walking. This would be special. Not to be.
$60. Jerry require 40.
To reduce the deficit. This campaign
Game
up
shot
and
on the
running in this
third
game.
leg.
Great
Jerry
darts there
Hendricks.
from Jerry. But Rob Grundy, who's got the ascendancy, he's got the darts.
Down the local, this is known as pint for the chalker, when both players are left on the same score. Might be the same score on the
Game
legs
shot on
column.
the fourth leg.
Jerry Hendricks,
Jerry
a big
Hendricks.
117 finish to level us back up, and there's a breaker throw.
He's just trying so hard to remain focused. He's dying to smile.
Game, shot, and the
Encouraging
match. Jerry
end.
Hendricks.
A wonderful finale in the end for Jerry Hendricks. He is a real character of the game, and he's had some tough times this week, but he finishes on a high, and you can see that massive smile. Who's going to deny him that after a tough week? Rob Grundy knew the job was done. He knew he was guaranteed to finish top place. Been an excellent, excellent position. He's letting you know there, and that's what he needs to do. A full extension of the arm as we move to the final game of the day. It will be Scott Winder against Carl Sneed. Gonna get a dart that tops your field. He does for 2-2.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Scott Winder.
Where did that come from, Matt?
Scott, you require 20. Game, shots, and the match.
Scott Winder gets over the winning line at the end, but just feels like after the Lord Mayor's show. But what a Group C campaign it was. But in the end, it's Rob Grundy and Robert Thornton will be there on Saturday night.
Scott, you require 20. Game, shots, and the match.
Scott Winder gets over the winning line at the end, but just feels like after the Lord Mayor's show. But what a Group C campaign it was. But in the end, it's Rob Grundy and Robert Thornton will be there on Saturday night.
Scott, you require 20. Game, shots, and the match.
Scott Winder gets over the winning line at the end, but just feels like after the Lord Mayor's show. But what a Group C campaign it was. But in the end, it's Rob Grundy and Robert Thornton will be there on Saturday night for Carl Sneed and Scott Winder. It was a game they won't remember. The 1-1-8 finish from Scott Winder was the outstanding moment. And he does finish on 12 points to Scott. Only missing out on legs difference, but a fantastic way to end for Rob Grundy. He was the star man today. He joins Robert Thornton, and we will join Henry Deacon next.
Thank you very much, Claire. Matthew Edgar joining me up here on the balcony to assess what we have seen in Group C today. These are the results then from our 15 games. We'll get back to them in just a second. Let's talk about the two Robs, because they're the two men that went through, Thornton and Grundy, and he just has this immaculate record, doesn't he, Robert Thornton, in qualifying for Saturday nights?
Finds a way, doesn't he, which is the story of today. It's not been the prettiest for Robert Thornton, but when he's needed something, he's found it. And that's been the big story here for Robert Thornton. Robert Grundy, I think, has got better as the day went on. It's the first time I've really been able to sort of cast an eye over Robert Grundy. I've seen, obviously, his results, but bringing those numbers and everything to life today, I was really impressed with what I saw, and I think he could be a big danger tomorrow night.
So those are the results. Let's talk about the day then chronologically. Begin with Robert Thornton, because when he had to come up with big moments, there was two of them today, two big finishes he came up with, and the first of which, this 144 against Rob Grundy. There we go, the double 12, bang, at 1-0 down at this point, big moment.
And also the two 120 finishes as well that he's taken out today. His timing was what we spoke about in commentary. But this one for me is the biggest one. Scott Winder was in a position there where he could have overtaken Robert Thornton in the table. He left himself on 107. It was a good leg from Scott Winder. And the way he was playing in that leg, you'd fancy him to have had a shot at the double. Would he have taken it? We'll never find out, because Robert Thornton stepped in and shown us why he is a multiple major winner.
What did you make of Robert's interview there on the balcony after his last game? Because he said, basically, you will not see a more fired-up player tomorrow night in this arena than him.
When's Robert Thornton not fired up? That's the big question. Robert Thornton's always quite an aggressive character, especially on the oche. Certainly, backstage, very timid. On the oche, he likes a scrap. And even here, you'll hear him quite often shouting out Robert, which is his war cry, shall we say. But I think maybe he's overplaying it a little bit. That's my concern here. Maybe he's overthinking this. There's got to be a reason he can go off and win all the titles he does, and then when he comes here, he can't get over it. Maybe he's just putting a bit too much pressure on himself.
Possibly. As for the other Robert Grundy, he made his way through in the end, and he had some eye issues, didn't he, midway through the day? And the fact he's managed to get through that get past that and to get through says a lot about him.
I was really impressed with him. I thought he showed a lot of quality, and it was moments again. And when we look at his sort of overall game, there was moments that ended up turning matches to be quite dominating score lines. There was the games he didn't boss them all the way through, but every time you need him to do something, the one that stands out for me was he was behind in a leg. He hit a 140, then took out a 116. That show of high quality is why I think he could be a danger tomorrow night. If not, win this. We know he can. He's won a Challenge Tour title. You don't get given those. You don't get them on the back of a cereal box. They are hard to win, and they're against people like he's going to be playing tomorrow night.
Don't know what you got on the back of your cereal box. Have you got Challenge Tour titles on them? Right, let's have a look at the table then, because Scott Winder, well, we can have a look at his position now on 12 points. It was ultimately the 2 defeats to the 2 Robs that kind of did for him in the end.
I mentioned on commentary, and I've mentioned it a lot today, when I realised who Scott Winder was. I met him actually over in Iceland, and we had a chat there, and he wanted to come down and play at the Super Series. It's one thing to come here and play, but the other thing to do is come here, play, and look like you belong. And when you look at that league table now, and you look at him in joint second place, we can say third, but it's joint second place, he's missed out on leg difference. That's encouraging enough that now he knows he belongs in this company. He knows he can compete, and that's going to be big going forward now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him back here again. I'm sure now he's had a taste of it, it would have been everything he wished it would be. Now he's going to want another taste. He's going to be back on the ADC, I'm sure, trying to earn another spot here at the Super Series.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. We're joined up here on the balcony by Rob Grundy. Rob, many, many congratulations. Through to tomorrow night. Just sum up how you're feeling right now.
Relieved. Had a bit of a scare against Scott. I know it was a thing with, but I just lost vision. And but to get the win, to get through was unbelievable.
I'm just going to ask you, just quickly put that mic up a little bit, if that's okay. Just talk about the eyelid bit. What was the main issue with that?
I just stood up quick, and as I stood up, I looked at the TV that's in the practice room, and then I seen the light, and I just got the blotch, and I just went all disorientated. And then I went out, and I got disorientated. I thought I was in the wrong door, and then when I went back out, I just couldn't see. It's back now, but in that game, I kept on trying to stretch my eye. It was just my peripheral vision. I just couldn't see my hand or anyone on this side. But over the moon to get through. It's what I wanted before the Thursday and Friday, and I've done that, so I'm over ecstatic.
Was there actually a point where you were worried about whether you could actually play?
A little bit, because I couldn't literally, it was all fuzzy, and when I tried to have a practice dart, I obviously staring, I couldn't see the side of the board. So it was scary, yeah. It's never happened. So, but I'm fine now, so I can even see you when I'm done, not looking at you. So hopefully it was just one of those things, you know. But I'm over the moon.
Some would say the bad thing is you actually have to look at me now. But through to tomorrow night's fight, let's talk about the good of it. This tournament, since we last saw you, you then went on to win a Challenge Tour. Things are going very well for Rob Grundy at the minute, aren't they?
It's everything I've done. The first time I was here has helped me massively on the Challenge Tour and the couple of call-ups I've had for the Pro Tour. It just seems to relax me a little bit more, and when I'm relaxed and playing my game, probably today I can score with the best of them. Sometimes me doubles, which I've been trying to practice on, but it's the go or the don't for me. I think it's something I have to practice a lot more on. But yeah, it's helped me massively, and I think I was talking to all the guys in there. It's going to help them as well, especially the debutants, because obviously I was that last time. So it's bigger and better things as well, isn't it? So, and it's brilliant to be here.
Well, Rob, it's great to have you here. Many congratulations on making it through to tomorrow night. We'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you tomorrow night. One more game to go for us. It is Scott Winder against Carson. That's a very happy man there in Rob Grundy. And one very happy man down in the commentary box is probably Glenn Durran, who's alongside Matthew Edgar.